I bet I know the top 3 housing market questions you have for 2024. All right, am I reading your mind? The top 3 housing market questions you have for next year is number 1, what's going to happen with mortgage rates? Number 2, what's going to happen with home prices? And number 3, is there going to be a recession? Am I right? Is that what you're thinking? Well, let me hit each of those quickly as we head into the new year. First, on mortgage rates, what's going to happen? Rates much higher this year than they had been over the previous few years. But this fall, we've had some good things happen. Looks like inflation is a little bit more under control. The Fed signaled that they're planning on rate cuts next year. 10-year treasuries down, mortgage rates are down, and people are predicting that next year we're going to continue to see downward pressure on those rates, potentially down in the 5s, where this year we were up as high as almost 8. And, we've been in the 6s recently. That is welcome news for a lot of folks because this obviously has a huge impact on affordability and a huge impact if you're thinking about selling your house and moving somewhere else about what your monthly payment looks like to trade one house for the other. So that's mortgage rates. Secondly, what about house prices? Well, good thing the experts are not picking this and actually changing your home value because a lot of people thought that prices were going to fall this year. We had a lot of predictions houses prices are going to fall. As a matter of fact, I remember a survey we saw at the beginning of the year that many of you thought the housing market was going to crash this year. Crash. But instead, what happened? Prices went up. Prices in Metro Atlanta are up year over year despite those higher interest rates. And that has to do with, one, there's a lot of demand in Atlanta. It's a great place to live. But two, there's been lower supply because people have been hesitant to trade their current interest rate for another one. And so supply and demand have fallen together and prices have continued to go up. So as people look at next year, they're thinking we're probably likely to see more price increases. That's what most experts are predicting. And I personally think if rates really fall, you're going to have a lot of people come into the market and there's just not the supply to handle a lot of people coming in the market. So what does that do? That typically shoots prices up. So that's what we're seeing heading into next year around prices, is a lot of experts think they're probably going to continue to go up. And then what about a recession? Same thing. Last year at this time, a lot of experts were predicting a recession. Seemed like that soft landing the Fed was going for was a dream, an impossibility. It looks a lot more realistic now than it did a year ago. They may be able to land that plane with a soft landing and avoid a recession because now fewer experts are predicting a recession coming into next year than they did this year. So if you think that those predictions are right, you think that that data is pointing in a positive direction for the housing market, we could be looking for a really robust year in housing next year as affordability eases a little bit thanks to interest rates, as people put their house on the market because they can move, as we see competition potentially for those houses raise prices a little bit. And if the economy can stay where it is, the labor market can stay where it is, inflation stays under control, we could, avoid a recession coming out of this inflationary period. All of that would bode great for the Atlanta market. And so if you're thinking about entering this market next year, we'd love to talk about your specific situation because these are all generalities. Your house is unique. Your situation is unique. Your goals are unique. And we'd love to help you reach those goals in 2024. And we appreciate you watching this year. We will see you guys again next week.